Good day, my friends. The year is 2025 odd. A year filled with unprecedented opportunities, challenges, and calls for change. Yet in the midst of it all, there is a message I need to share. Stop being too nice. Kindness is a quality that reflects the essence of humanity. It is the ability to show understanding, compassion, and empathy toward others. However, too often, kindness is mistaken for weakness, leading many to compromise their true potential, their values, and their goals in the name of being nice. To understand the difference between kindness and weakness, one must first examine the motivations and outcomes of each. Kindness stems from a place of inner strength and security. It is a deliberate act of goodwill, rooted in an awareness of one's worth and a desire to uplift others without sacrificing one's own integrity. On the other hand, weakness often manifests as a lack of boundaries, a fear of conflict, or a desire for approval. It is giving without discernment, conceding without conviction, and accommodating at the expense of one's self-respect. When we confuse kindness with weakness, we risk losing our sense of self. People are too nice often struggle to assert their opinions, stand up for their rights, or make difficult decisions because they fear disappointing others. This fear-driven behavior creates a cycle of dependency and resentment. They may feel unappreciated for their efforts, while those around them grow accustomed to taking advantage of their generosity. In this way, the very kindness they extend becomes a tool for others to exploit. True kindness, in contrast, empowers both the giver and the recipient. It is not about avoiding conflict or pleasing everyone, but about doing what is right, even when it is not easy. A kind person knows when to say no and understands that doing so is an act of respect for themselves and others. By standing firm in their values and making decisions based on wisdom rather than fear, they inspire others to do the same. Kindness has boundaries, and those boundaries are what transform it into a strength rather than a weakness. The ability to differentiate between kindness and weakness requires self-awareness. Many people fall into the trap of being excessively nice because they seek validation or fear rejection. They believe that by constantly accommodating others, they will be loved, accepted, or valued. However, this mindset only leads to frustration and exhaustion. When people are driven by the need to be liked, they become susceptible to manipulation and lose sight of their own goals and priorities. True kindness, however, does not require external validation. It comes from a place of inner fulfillment. It is important to recognize that being kind does not mean avoiding tough conversations or difficult decisions. In fact, sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to hold someone accountable, tell them the truth, or challenge their harmful behavior. True kindness is not passive, it is active. It requires courage to address uncomfortable situations with grace and honesty. This kind of kindness builds trust, fosters growth, and strengthens relationships, even if it causes temporary discomfort. Weakness, in contrast, avoids these challenges, opting instead for the path of least resistance. One of the key differences between kindness and weakness lies in the concept of reciprocity. When kindness is genuine, it creates a balanced exchange where both parties feel valued and respected. However, when it is rooted in weakness, it often becomes one-sided, leaving the giver drained and the recipient entitled. Over time, this imbalance erodes the quality of relationships and leads to feelings of bitterness and dissatisfaction. A truly kind person recognizes the importance of reciprocity and ensures that their acts of goodwill do not come at the cost of their well-being. Prioritizing purpose over people-pleasing is essential for anyone striving to live a meaningful and impactful life. Too often, individuals get caught in the trap of trying to please everyone, bending to the expectations and demands of others at the expense of their own goals and vision. while the desire to be liked or accepted is natural, allowing it to dictate your actions can be detrimental to your growth, happiness, and overall sense of fulfillment. Living with purpose means being guided by a clear understanding of your values, passions, and objectives. It requires a strong sense of direction and a commitment to what truly matters to you. In contrast, people-pleasing is rooted in the fear of rejection or disapproval, which often leads to prioritizing the desires of others over your own needs and aspirations. This dynamic can create a constant cycle of compromise, where you sacrifice your time, energy, and resources in an attempt to gain approval or avoid conflict. Over time, this erodes your confidence, diminishes your sense of self-worth, and leaves you feeling unfulfilled. One of the most significant dangers of people-pleasing is that it pulls you away from your purpose. When you focus on trying to meet everyone's expectations, you lose sight of your unique path and the goals you've set for yourself. You become reactive rather than proactive, constantly responding to the needs of others instead of pursuing your own ambitions. This not only slows your progress, but can also lead to frustration and resentment, as you realize that your efforts to please others often go unnoticed or unappreciated. Purpose, on the other hand, provides clarity and direction. It serves as a compass, helping you navigate the challenges and distractions of life with confidence and focus. When you prioritize your purpose, you are better equipped to make decisions that align with your values and move you closer to your goals. This doesn't mean disregarding the needs or feelings of others, but rather finding a balance that allows you to stay true to yourself while maintaining healthy relationships. A key aspect of prioritizing purpose is learning to say no. Many people struggle with this because they fear disappointing others or being perceived as selfish. However, saying no is not an act of rejection. It is an affirmation of your priorities. Each time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your purpose, you are effectively saying no. By setting boundaries and being intentional about where you invest your time and energy, you create space for the things that truly matter. Another important element of living with purpose is being comfortable with discomfort. People-pleasing often stems from a desire to avoid conflict or maintain harmony, even at the expense of your own well-being. However, growth and progress require the courage to face challenges and make difficult choices. When you prioritize your purpose, you may encounter resistance or criticism from those who don't understand or support your vision. While this can be uncomfortable, it is a necessary part of staying true to yourself and achieving your goals. Living with purpose also requires self-awareness and self-discipline. You must take the time to reflect on what matters most to you and be willing to make the sacrifices needed to pursue your goals. This involves being honest with yourself about your strengths, weaknesses, and limitations, as well as taking responsibility for your actions and decisions. By staying focused on your purpose, you develop the resilience and determination needed to overcome obstacles and stay the course. When you prioritize purpose over people-pleasing, you also inspire others to do the same. Your commitment to living authentically and pursuing your goals serves as a powerful example, encouraging those around you to reflect on their own values and aspirations. This creates a ripple effect, fostering a culture of authenticity and purpose that benefits not only you, but everyone in your sphere of influence. Setting boundaries to protect your value and time is an essential practice for leading a balanced and meaningful life. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out, but guidelines that define how you allow others to interact with you, how you allocate your energy, and how you maintain control over your priorities. Without boundaries, you risk losing control of your time, compromising your values, and allowing others to dictate the course of your life. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have. Unlike money or material possessions, time cannot be regained once it is spent. This makes it crucial to be intentional about how you use it. When you fail to set boundaries, you open yourself to constant interruptions, distractions, and demands from others. These may come in the form of unsolicited requests, unnecessary obligations, or even relationships that drain your energy. While it may feel kind or accommodating to always say yes, it often comes at the expense of your productivity, peace of mind, and personal growth. Boundaries are a reflection of self-respect. When you set clear limits, you communicate to yourself and others that your time and energy are valuable. This requires an understanding of your priorities and a willingness to protect them, even when doing so may lead to discomfort or pushback from others. People who are used to you always being available or accommodating may initially struggle to accept your boundaries. However, enforcing these limits is not an act of selfishness, but one of self-preservation and self-care. It ensures that you have the capacity to focus on what truly matters and to show up fully for the things that align with your values and goals. Setting boundaries also involves recognizing the difference between being helpful and being overextended. Many people fall into the trap of overcommitting because they feel obligated to help everyone who asks. While there is nothing wrong with offering support, it is important to do so within limits that do not compromise your well-being. Learning to assess each request critically and deciding whether it aligns with your priorities is a key skill. It allows you to be generous without becoming depleted and to contribute without neglecting your own needs. Boundaries are not just about managing your time, but also about defining the quality of your interactions and relationships. When you establish clear guidelines for how you expect to be treated, you create a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. This can prevent unhealthy dynamics such as manipulation, disrespect, or overdependence. By being firm yet respectful in communicating your boundaries, you teach others how to engage with you in a way that is constructive and supportive. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is recognizing your limits and being honest about them. Many people avoid setting boundaries because they fear conflict or worry about being perceived as difficult. However, avoiding these conversations only leads to frustration, resentment, and burnout. It is far better to address potential issues early and directly than to allow them to escalate. Communicating your boundaries clearly and assertively is not only a sign of confidence, but also a way to foster healthier relationships built on honesty and trust. Maintaining boundaries requires consistency and follow-through. It is not enough to state your limits. You must also enforce them. This means being willing to say no when necessary, to step back from situations that violate your boundaries, and to hold others accountable for respecting them. Consistency builds credibility and reinforces the importance of your boundaries. Over time, this helps establish a culture of respect in your relationships and interaction. Boundaries are also an essential tool for achieving balance in life. They allow you to allocate your time and energy effectively across the various areas of your life, such as work, family, personal development, and leisure. By setting limits and prioritizing your needs, you create the space necessary for growth, fulfillment, and the pursuit of your goals. Standing firm in your principles, even if it makes others uncomfortable, is one of the most powerful acts of integrity and self-respect. In a world where people often seek validation and approval from others, staying true to your beliefs requires courage and conviction. It means being willing to face opposition, criticism, or even rejection to uphold what you know is right. This strength of character is not just about resisting external pressure, but also about remaining consistent with your inner values and truths, no matter the circumstances. Compromising your principles for the sake of pleasing others may provide temporary relief, but it often leads to long-term dissatisfaction and regret. When you compromise what you stand for, you create an internal conflict that erodes your sense of self-worth. You begin to lose trust in yourself because you are no longer living in alignment with your values. This misalignment can lead to feelings of emptiness, frustration, and a loss of purpose. By contrast, standing firm in your principles reinforces your sense of identity and fosters a deep sense of fulfillment and inner peace. People who stand by their principles are often seen as trustworthy and dependable. This is because their actions consistently align with their words and they remain unwavering in the face of challenges. This consistency builds credibility and earns the respect of others, even if their stance is not always popular or widely accepted. While not everyone may agree with your principles, many will admire the strength it takes to uphold them. Those who share your values will be drawn to your authenticity, creating deeper and more meaningful connections. The ability to stand firm in your principles is often tested in moments of discomfort or adversity. There will be times when the easier path involves compromise or silence, but these moments are when your character is truly revealed. Choosing to speak up, take action, or hold your ground when it would be easier to back down demonstrates a commitment to living authentically. It shows that you value your principles more than the fleeting approval of others or the convenience of avoiding conflict. It is important to recognize that standing by your principles does not mean being inflexible or unwilling to learn. True strength lies in the ability to listen, reflect, and adapt when new information or perspectives emerge. However, this adaptability must be rooted in a commitment to your core values rather than a desire to conform or gain favor. Knowing the difference between evolving your beliefs and abandoning them is key to maintaining your integrity. Standing firm in your principles can sometimes lead to discomfort for those around you, especially if your stance challenges their beliefs or actions. This discomfort is not something to avoid, but rather a natural part of growth and progress. When you hold to your principles, you may provoke self-reflection in others, encouraging them to examine their own choices and values. While this process can be unsettling, it often leads to greater understanding and respect, even among those who initially disagreed with you. Living in alignment with your principles also requires setting boundaries and being selective about the influences you allow into your life. Surrounding yourself with people who respect and support your values creates an environment where you can thrive. Conversely, spending time with those who consistently undermine or challenge your principles can erode your confidence and make it harder to stay true to yourself. By being intentional about your relationships and associations, you create a foundation of support that reinforces your commitment to your values. The rewards of standing firm in your principles extend beyond personal fulfillment. They create a ripple effect, inspiring others to act with integrity and courage in their own lives. Your example serves as a reminder that it is possible to stay true to your values, even in a world that often prioritizes convenience or popularity over authenticity. In this way, your principles become a source of strength, not only for yourself, but for those who look to you as a role model or leader. Saying no to what hinders your growth is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward personal and professional development. Growth requires focus, intentionality, and the ability to prioritize what truly matters. Often the greatest obstacle to achieving your goals is not a lack of opportunity or talent, but the distractions, commitments, and habits that pull you away from your purpose. Learning to say no to these hindrances is an act of discipline and self-respect that enables you to stay on the path to success. Saying no is not always easy. Many people struggle with it because they fear disappointing others, being misunderstood, or facing conflict. This fear often leads to overcommitting, taking on responsibilities that are not aligned with their goals, or tolerating situations that drain their energy and time. While saying yes may feel like the polite or easy choice in the moment, it often comes at the cost of your priorities and progress. Every yes to something that does not serve your growth is effectively a no to something that does. Understanding what hinders your growth begins with self-awareness. You must take the time to evaluate your life, identify your goals, and determine what is truly important to you. This clarity allows you to recognize the people, activities, and habits that support your growth, as well as those that hold you back. Once you have this awareness, you can make intentional decisions about where to invest your time and energy. Saying no becomes not just an act of rejection, but a deliberate choice to prioritize your growth and well-being. Hindrances to growth come in many forms. They may be external, such as toxic relationships, unnecessary obligations, or unproductive environments. They may also be internal, such as negative self-talk, procrastination, or fear of failure. Whatever the source, these obstacles can consume your resources and prevent you from reaching your full potential. Recognizing and addressing these hindrances requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to make difficult choices. Saying no to them is not about avoiding responsibility or confrontation, but about creating space for what truly matters. Setting boundaries is an essential part of saying no to what hinders your growth. Boundaries define how you allocate your time and energy and ensure that you have the capacity to focus on your goals. They protect you from being overwhelmed by external demands and help you maintain balance in your life. Setting boundaries requires clear communication and consistent follow-through. When you establish and enforce these limits, you send a message to yourself and others that your growth and priorities are non-negotiable. Saying no also involves overcoming the guilt or fear that often accompanies it. Many people feel obligated to say yes to every request or opportunity because they don't want to let others down or miss out. However, this mindset can lead to burnout, frustration, and a lack of progress. It is important to remember that saying no is not an act of selfishness, but one of self-care and responsibility. By prioritizing your growth, you are better able to contribute to others and make a meaningful impact in the areas that matter most. Another key aspect of saying no is learning to trust your instincts and values. There will always be external pressures and opinions about what you should do or how you should spend your time. While seeking advice or feedback can be valuable, it is ultimately your responsibility to make decisions that align with your goals and values. Trusting yourself and being confident in your choices empowers you to say no when necessary, even when others may not understand or agree. The ability to say no is not just about avoiding distractions, but also about making room for opportunities that align with your growth. When you say no to what hinders you, you create space for new experiences, relationships, and challenges that support your development. This intentionality allows you to move forward with clarity and purpose, ensuring that your time and energy are invested in ways that bring you closer to your goals. Nice doesn't change the world, courage and conviction do. While being nice is often seen as a virtue, it is not enough when it comes to making meaningful and lasting change. Niceness tends to prioritize comfort, avoiding conflict, and keeping the peace. But true transformation often requires the courage to disrupt the status quo and the conviction to stand by your beliefs, even in the face of opposition. Real change, whether on a personal, social, or global scale, demands strength, determination, and a willingness to confront challenges head on. Niceness is often rooted in a desire to be liked or accepted, which can lead to compromising on what truly matters. This kind of honesty and accountability is not always pleasant, but it is necessary for progress. Courage is the ability to face fear and uncertainty with resolve. It allows you to take risks, speak up, and act even when the outcome is uncertain. Without courage, niceness becomes passive and ineffective. For example, it is nice to agree with others to maintain harmony, but it takes courage to challenge ideas or behaviors that are harmful or counterproductive. Courage is what enables you to advocate for what is right, even when it is not popular or easy. It is the foundation of leadership, innovation, and transformation. Conviction is the unwavering belief in your principles and purpose. It gives you the strength to persevere through difficulties and to stay true to your values in the face of resistance. Conviction is not about stubbornness or inflexibility, but about a deep sense of clarity and commitment to what you believe is right. People with conviction are willing to take a stand, even when it means facing criticism, rejection, or adversity. They are guided by their vision and are not swayed by the opinions or expectations of others. The combination of courage and conviction is what drives meaningful action. It is what enables people to challenge injustice, push boundaries, and inspire change. History is filled with examples of individuals who made a difference not by being nice, but by being bold and uncompromising in their pursuit of what they believed in. These individuals were often criticized, misunderstood, or even vilified in their time. But their courage and conviction ultimately left a lasting impact on the world. At an individual level, courage and conviction empower you to pursue your goals and dreams with determination. They help you overcome self-doubt, fear of failure, and the pressure to conform to others' expectations. When you have the courage to take risks and the conviction to stay focused on your purpose, you become unstoppable in your pursuit of growth and success. This requires stepping outside of your comfort zone, embracing challenges, and being willing to learn from failure. In relationships, courage and conviction create authenticity and trust. While niceness may keep interactions pleasant, it is the ability to have honest, difficult conversations that builds genuine connections. Courage allows you to express your true feelings and needs, while conviction ensures that you maintain your boundaries and values. This balance fosters respect and understanding, creating deeper and more meaningful relationships. On a broader scale, courage and conviction are essential for driving social and cultural change. It takes courage to speak out against inequality, injustice, or harmful norms, and it takes conviction to persist in these efforts despite resistance. Nice gestures may raise awareness, but it is the bold actions of those who are willing to disrupt the status quo that create lasting change. This kind of leadership inspires others to take action, creating a ripple effect that amplifies the impact.